episode 12. Cunningham. 12.
12. We had a dozen, baby.
Yeah, a Randall Cunningham edition of the podcast.
I prefer to say Tom Brady, GOAT.
Thomas Brady. So today we're gonna jump right back into this. We're gonna jump right into a subject, and it has to do with the Me Too movement.
So what about it? Jump in.
I remember when the movement first started a couple years ago. You start seeing hashtags on Facebook, on Instagram, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, indicating that the women who have been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed were throwing up the hashtag. Were you surprised to learn so many women were sexually harassed?
Absolutely not. It's always been whispers about, I mean, it kind of goes back to the saying is like, who'd you have to do to get that job? So, I mean, it kind of goes back to that saying. And then, if we're talking about show business per se, some of them have no talent. So you do kind of say to yourself, why are they in that place? Why are they in that role? Yeah. When I feel like they shouldn't be. So, I mean, now we know to a degree with some of that, with what's transpired with what's his name, Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. And others. But
we're not gonna pretty much talk about that aspect, but just another aspect of those like guys who had to adjust, or if they had to adjust. Because I remember on Facebook a guy that I know was like, "Man, ladies, the only thing you're gonna get from me is hi and bye. I'm not gonna say anything else to you, because I don't want nothing to jump out there. I don't want it to be perceived as anything else." And now it's at a point where can a man be really a man in today's society and be accepted?
Yeah, I mean, the question you posed earlier before we started said, "Can a man be a man's man?" And I said no, because everybody's sensitive. Yeah, like this whole Me Too. Like, you can't be in a workplace, or it doesn't have to be workplace. You just seem like nowadays you just can't be anywhere and have a wholehearted, good, friendly conversation with somebody without somebody taking it the wrong way. Yeah. Like you would be around a water cooler and just say, "Hey, nice outfit. Is that new?" or something like that. Now somebody, would take that to the HR, talking about, he's looking at my dress, or, he's, talking about what I got on, and he's checking me out. Like, everybody's stretching. Everybody's reaching. Yeah.
Like, I definitely feel like it's definitely an issue. I mean, it's almost like we knew what the normal people. Well, I won't say normal people. People knew the line and where the line was, but I feel like that line of decency has been moved. The goalposts have been shifted to a point where it's like, whoa, what is correct? What is not correct? Right. And every year we had to complete a seminar online at work, and they just teach you what is sexual harassment, what is not sexual harassment,
the boundaries.
You know what I mean? But ultimately, it's all a perception issue.
It really is. And the thing I have, I guess, a beef with is a lot of the times relationships are built from within the workplace. Not necessarily romantic relationships, but personal relationships. Yeah. So you have some personal discussions and talks with people you work with at the job, and it's like now it's just like everybody has to be almost like a robot now. Like, especially the men, they're petrified to say anything nice, anything complimentary. It's like what do you do? Like, now you're taking all of the humanity out of work. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you can't have a conversation unless it has to do exactly with work. You just can't say, "What'd you do yesterday?" or "I went out to a party and I wore this nice dress," and the guy might say, "Oh, that dress you wore. That's a very nice looking dress. I remember you when you wore that." They'll take that and run, the other way. Depending on the person, they'll take that and run the other way. So everybody's on eggshells, especially the guys are on eggshells. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any women out there pushing buttons as far as the men are concerned.
No, we can talk about that. We'll come back to that.
Oh, okay.
But ultimately, I just feel
somebody
like
touch your ass at work.
nah. Like, I just feel like it's no right answer.
There isn't. It's the whole sexual harassment. It's all gray. It's all gray area.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you just blatantly come out and say, "Hey, I want to," you know.
Yeah. I want to bring it back to an example I gave on a prior podcast. I'm a voyeur of life. So this
that means he's a lurker.
So I'm walking back from the Carvel building in Wilmington, right? And I'm walking down the street, and there was a nice looking lady, brown skin, nice looking thing in front of me, and there was a guy to my left sitting on a stoop, and he said, and he screamed out real like, "Hey, brown skin, looking sexy in those jeans." and I was, due to the move,
is that your city voice?
Yeah. Yo, that's exactly what he said. You look sexy in those jeans. So, in my mindset, like, oh, okay, this move, oh, she gonna cuss him out. You know what she said?
Thank you.
Yep. And I was like, wait. Everywhere, every facet of life, I'm told, hey, you can't say that.
Right.
But in this situation, it worked.
It works. I mean, one, they wasn't in the workplace, but and on top of that, sometimes I think women wear things to get compliments. So that's the fine line. It's that's the line.
That's
like
another thing.
You think women don't know that skirt is tight?
Yeah.
They're just gonna wear a tight skirt and think nobody's gonna look at their ass, wiggling left to right. That thing.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. So I'm not saying like, this is a tough one.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's like an analogy I always use. People put posts on Facebook not because they want to post. 9 times out of 10 it's because they want the likes.
Yeah.
They ain't not really putting what's on their heart on Facebook. They want to put something out there to see what kind of reaction they get.
I think.
And then when they get the reaction.
But what is the universal law? Like there
is none.
That's the hard part. There's no universal law.
And here's the thing.
What's the universal rule?
There is none. But here's the thing. People put things out there for a reaction, and it's all good until they get a reaction from someone they don't want a reaction from.
So, but
and then that's when.
Let me play advocate. Some women feel like they should be able to walk outside wearing whatever and not be
objectified. Understandable. But I mean, you have to also be a little more realistic as well. You know, if you're wearing something that's clad, something that's tight. I ain't gonna say scandally clad, but clad.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's tight or revealing.
Somebody's gonna say something.
Somebody will probably say something. If they don't say nothing, get ready for the eyeballs to be on you.
Should.
So don't. I mean, I feel like nobody should really approach you and say anything, but don't be all.
What you looking at?
Don't get your panties in a bunch if you get a lot of eyeballs looking at you, looking your way. Like, I mean, you bring.
But are women complaining about the looks, or are they complaining about the words and the actions?
It depends on the person, but I think the words and actions always hit harder than looks, you know, because it's always like look but don't touch. So I mean, the words and then maybe some of the gestures may be, of course, they're probably more offensive. But you know, I hate to be that guy, but I mean, to a degree, you kind of bring it on yourself. You bring that energy to yourself.
But again, women feel that they have the right to wear whatever they want.
They do, and I have the right to look hard.
Okay.
Pun intended.
So okay.
I'm just, but like I bet here's the thing. Like you said, do the words hit more than just the looks? If I compliment you, are you going to take that compliment as a compliment, or are you going to take that compliment as me shooting my shot. Or
Cause jokers, if you make that wrong call and you say the wrong thing, you're getting fired.
like if you were in the workplace, hey yo, brown skin, no good enough, G, you're getting fired.
You're getting fired.
You're not even getting a warning. You're getting fired.
You're getting fired.
But you know what I mean. But you know, if you say, "Hey, excuse me, Lisa, that's a very nice outfit you have on today,"
you still might get.
that's still
might get reprimanded.
You gonna get called in the office.
You still gonna get reprimanded.
If she's not up for it today, you get called in the office.
Let me ask you a question. Put the shoe on the foot. A woman said, "Man, Brian, you looking good in those slacks you got, or Mo, you looking good in those
flat fronts."
Yeah, like, would it be taken the same way?
I love all the compliments.
Yeah, me too. Even from like ugly women.
Yeah, I love all the compliments. You know.
So it when the shoes on the foot,
it always hey, Michael Jackson said it best. It always feels like somebody's watching me.
Yeah.
Hey man.
I feel you.
I think all the compliments. Just don't be. I feel like this don't be out of order, and it works both ways. Just don't be out of order. But you know, like hey, like those jeans you got on. Right? Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you. So getting back to the original post or original question, in today's culture, can a manly man be accepted?
No.
Because if I say, look, I'm an old fashioned man, I want to work, I want you to stay home and watch the kids and raise the kids and cook and clean.
I think women would accept that if the husband could provide financially for the household.
That's not being said though.
I know.
What's being said is that I'm gonna. Yeah.
You know, but that comes from a culture of being in a single parent household. Like my mother always used to say, I can do bad by myself. You know, like I don't need nobody else to pull me down. I can do this by myself. Probably do better. And I think that message sometimes gets carried down the line, you know, in the generations.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of gets taken out of context as well. Like, yeah, okay, you can do bad by yourself because you're alone at the moment, and you know you're going to handle things and be independent. But I mean, your kids and other generations should want to find someone to build with and things like that. So, but then that attitude kind of shuts that off.
Like I just want to know, like, so if a man's look, I make good money. I make $80,000 a year.
That ain't a lot of money.
I make $100,000 a year.
Okay, it's getting a little better. Yeah, okay.
I make $100,000 a year. Or I'm an admin in the school district. I make $100,000 a year.
All right.
I don't want you to work. I want you to stay home and raise the kids.
But that's a talk.
And,
yeah, I always say that's a discussion.
And I want you to, when I get home, I want you to cook the food. And I want you to take care of the house. I'll take care of the bills and everything else.
It all depends on the person you're talking to. Because some people, even though they probably would be cool with you working and providing for the household and things like that, some people are just work driven. Like, yeah, I know you can provide for all of us, but I want to work too. You know, I mean, it all depends on the person that you're with. But I for the most part, most women, I don't see them turning down the option to not work and be a housekeeper. And don't get me wrong, being a housekeeper, being a housewife, and tending to the kids, that's a job within itself. And 9 times out of 10, they do that on top of working a full-time job. So, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times that role doesn't get dispersed evenly through the spouses.
Yeah, but that just seems weird. Now, would you just say if you made $100,000 a year and you took I'm not even gonna put a number on. Just say you made enough to take care of the finances,
the household,
finances as well as saving on a monthly basis. Would you have your significant other stay home?
I would tell her she wouldn't have to work if she didn't want to. I wouldn't tell her I want you to stay home.
You're gonna stay home.
Yeah, you know that's the thing. Like, I don't want to tell nobody what to do. Like, we're all grown. You know, the only people you tell what to do is your kids. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I don't want to feel like I'm telling somebody what to do. But if I was providing for the household, like you said, everything underneath the household and saving, I would go to my wife and be like, look, we're doing well. We're going to continue to do well. You don't have to work if you don't want to. You know, you can stay home and tend to the house and things like that if you like. You know, but it would be up to her. You know. So, but as far as being a man's man.
So let's define a man's man. I'm talking about I work, you stay home and cook.
When you say that, but when I think of a man's man, I think of somebody that's macho, very masculine.
What's that? Define.
Just a guy that's headstrong. This is what it is. This is what it's going to be. It's my way or no way. You know,
that's not flying.
They're very blunt, even if it hurts. But at the same time, they're very trustworthy. They're people of their word. You know what I mean? So even though you say, "Oh, that's not going to fly," but he's a very trustworthy dude. He's going to say what he wants to say, but he's going to do what he says. You know, at the same time. So I mean, it has its balances and it has its declines as well. But that's to me what I think is a man's man. He's going to be a straight shooter. He's going to give it to you straight. You know, when you say man's man, I think of a guy. You know, me and the man's man. We just shooting the shit, talking, and he's just giving me conversation straight, shooting straight from the hip. That's what I think of man's man, and that's why I say I don't believe the man's man is accepted in today's society, because now you have to be guarded with everything you say and do. You can't give your straight on opinion without being crucified for it. But the man's man doesn't give a fuck. I will say that.
Like
and I'm not saying he's a man's man, but look at somebody like Kanye West. He speaks whatever comes to his mind. You know. And everybody crucifies him. But that's what that's his makeup. He's always been like that. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been like that. The same dude that said that slavery was a choice is the same dude that said that George Bush don't care about black people. They praised him when he said that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the same, shoot from the hip, I'm just going to say what's on my mind. That same mentality is good at times when it benefits the people, but then when they don't, they're ready to crucify them. They're ready to hang them. And it just, everybody's just sensitive. Everybody's so sensitive. Everybody has their own rights, so you have to tap dance around everything. It's like, if you say something bad about homosexuals, the gay right folks are on your back. You say something crazy about black people, Black Lives Matter, they're gonna be on your back. What else am I missing? The Me Too movement. I mean, you say something halfway off-putting to them, they're gonna be on your back. I mean, shit. You say something bad about Beyonce, the Beehive's gonna be on your ass. So I mean,
So let me ask you a question: does society have to change, or you just have to be stronger in your convictions? Because if you a man's man and you just want to be,
I feel like you have to be stronger in your convictions, both sides.
Because honestly, if that's who you are and you're true to yourself, then that's what you're gonna be.
Exactly, and I feel like for the people who fight and criticize everything people say, I mean, I feel like just be true to that, but know that people are gonna say what they want to say, or they're gonna say what they feel. Or at least they should be saying what they feel.
But I don't think that's the case. It's
not the case, because everybody's trying to appease everybody. But I mean, say what's on your mind and stand on it. That's I always say that, stand on it. But I don't know. Society, we've gone soft. Pause.
We've definitely. I don't know. I think it's cyclical, because I think in another 5 years, another movement's going to come.
It's going to swing back.
I mean, there's nothing constant in this world but change.
Right.
And it's always the
pendulum's going to swing.
And no shot against the Me Too movement, because I definitely feel that there's women out there who's been oppressed and harassed and things like that, and
Absolutely.
worse. But I think there's a lot of fringe people who live on the fringe, who's ready to jump on any movement that's out there. And they just want to belong somewhere.
Yeah.
And then you fake anger. Like if this is really your cause, by all means fight for your cause. But if it's not, don't just jump on the bandwagon.
It's funny you say fight for your cause. Remember Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah.
And you see how that backfired for her. White woman fighting for the black cause. And I will say this, it's a documentary on Netflix. It's called The Rachel Divide. It's a good documentary. It's very it's very mixed. Like no pun intended. But it had me split down the middle. I was torn. Like I didn't know whether to feel good for her because she was fighting for the black cause, and she's done more for black folks than black folks have done for black folks in some aspects. But at the same time, it's like she's buffooning us because she's a white woman in blackface, and then she goes out and says she doesn't identify with white. She's black. You're not black. And she's fighting for the cause, but it kind of backfired on us, even though she was working in our favor, you know. And then she caught a whole hell of a lot of backlash. You know what I mean?
But let me ask you a question though, because I think that she is an interesting character.
She's definitely a character.
She's definitely an interesting character. Now she is about a cause that wasn't. She chose to pick up a mantle that wasn't hers to pick up.
Yeah.
So.
And that's what I'm torn about. It's kind of like I give you kudos for trying to help the cause, but it's like, what's your agenda?
What's your angle?
What's your angle? Because everybody's on the fence. Everybody's, like you said, everybody's looking for something to jump onto, some bandwagon to jump onto. Like, what's your angle in this? Because although, yes, you have done a lot for the blacks and the culture out there. I think she was in Seattle area.
Yeah. She
was the head of the NAACP in Seattle. But at the end of the day, it's like, I could get behind someone who's living the struggle.
I mean,
who's going through the discrimination. She's going through the discrimination now after the blowback, but it's like I can get behind somebody that's going through the struggle, that's been through the struggle, versus somebody that's faking the struggle. And then, like I said, at the end of all of this, we find out she's white. I mean, she probably wouldn't have had a documentary if none of this came to light, or a book or whatever. So it's kind of like, what's your angle? Like, what are you trying to get out of this? And that's what I'm torn about. It's like, are you doing this for some notoriety, some money, things like that? Like, don't use people's dependency for your gain unless you're wholeheartedly ready to help.
I don't know. Like she wasn't just a part of the NAACP. She was like leading.
That's what I'm saying. She was like the head of that district, that branch up there.
And for everyone thought that she was already black, so she was receiving the blowback though.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's like the book back in the day, back in the 1960s, called "Black Like Me." Like the white guy who made himself black, he lived the struggle.
Yeah.
So it would be almost like the same thing. Like it's not like she took makeup off.
But on top of that, if you watch the documentary, they claim she wrote herself letters, posing as someone that was white and posing racial threats to get news notoriety, to get her out there. And because they couldn't trace where these letters were coming from, and somebody had did some digging, and they think that she was the one writing the letters, where she had somebody write the letters and send them to the NAACP, talking about they're going to do this or they're going to bomb this, and and using racial slurs and things of that nature, and it just brought a whole lot of news attention to the NAACP, which she's the head of, so she's always in front of the camera. So that's where her what's the word I'm looking for? Her vision. Like, is your vision our vision, or is your vision something for only for you to have or do? So
man,
that's what I'm saying. I was so torn when I watched that. Shout out to my godmother. She told me to watch. No, or did I tell her to watch it? Somebody told me to watch it, and I think I passed it on to her. And I was so torn because it was like she was doing so much, and she was very convincing that she was really working towards the cause. But then when they showed like all of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm like, yo, like what is her deal?
Man,
like what is her deal? And then like when you get into like her family, you know, of course she had a white family, but she had like black adopted siblings that she ended up adopting herself because her upbringing was rough, and so you kind of feel for her, but at the same time it's kind of like, I don't know, like who's the liar, like who's really doing what. But like I said, I just got on a tangent, but
yeah,
there's always a movement that somebody's trying to jump on and be the spearhead of. So like you said, the times will change. It's going to be something else that's going to come up, and it's going to take precedent over the Me Too or the Black Lives. Like black people aren't even really talking about Black Lives Matter, but
man,
cops are still shooting innocent black folks.
Yeah.
You know, so everybody's just tap dancing around everything. Everybody wants to make everybody happy, and nobody wants to hear the harsh reality. And I think that's what's needed. But right now, the news, the media, they're not making it acceptable.
No, I don't know. Like the news in itself is just whack to me. Like it hits me, and I think I said this on a prior pod, but in the city of New York, there's probably 1 million up to 2 million things that they can really report on, and this one station has like an hour to report on how many stories? 10.
Yeah.
So how are they choosing the 10 out of the 2 million stories that they can report on? So they report the most salacious, the most.
They want eyeballs.
Yeah.
They want eyeballs. They
So
want ears and eyeballs.
And that impugns their credibility to me. Like that's just. And people take it as the gospel, like, oh, Channel 6 News said there was a shooting. You know what I mean? And they may focus on this amount of stuff. So where do you get the truth if it's not for the news?
Yeah. Right.
So and they're going full gear into the Me Too movement, and they're making it seem like every man is like
every man's a predator. Basically.
Yeah, and I'm just like, whoa, wait! I just said you had a nice dress on.
Right.
I just said I like your shoes look nice.
Right. And like the Me Too movement, I feel like it's mainly geared in the entertainment industry, because I feel like in the job, I feel like the job environment, you know, more so office environments, things like that, have been well policed, because you have HR and things like that. So I don't think you really get.
But let me ask you a question. For us to say that, wouldn't that be the same thing as a person outside of our culture saying, you know, racism is on its way out
or non-existent?
You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't work in the office place no more, but I mean,
yeah, buddy.
Human resources are there for that reason. You know what I mean? So I feel like you have the avenues to take in order to make things happen.
Here, a couple guys here.
Who we got going on?
What's up, Kev?
What up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing alright. I'm just sitting here knocking out the podcast all crazy.
Yeah, hey Kev, it's Mo.
Yeah.
What's your feel on the Me Too movement, man? He laughed.
The Me Too movement was started by black women, but white women co-opted it.
Oh, we getting the juice.
Hot take.
You call right on the time.
Hot take.
Okay, so it was started by black women, but put out in the forefront by white women.
Yo, but Kev, let me ask you a
What's
question
up?
though.
Yeah.
Did you have to change your interactions due to the movement?
No, because I'm not a creep.
Okay, all right. But do you feel like a lot of guys have had to change some of their tendencies or activities because of the Me Too movement? Being as though, I'm not saying like, you know, being a creep or anything, but like, you know, you might have that work friend that you compliment. Now he may feel like he can't compliment her no more because of the Me Too movement.
I know for a fact that at the very least it's caused some guys to second guess, right? It's like things that you might have like just off the strength have said. You're like, oh wow, like maybe something that I'm used to saying might actually be viewed as offensive, and I think that's a very huge benefit of the movement because we're so conditioned to just saying whatever, what have you. And it's like, yo, that's actually pretty offensive, and she might have never expressed any issue with it because she may not even feel comfortable doing such. So that's what the movement is doing for her.
Yeah, he's so well spoken. you gotta bring your ass back to Delaware so you can do an episode with us.
Oh man.
Bro, I hop on, man. I get on there, hop on that elite slam that y'all was putting out.
Yeah, man. Well, when you come back, that's all it is.
Yeah. We
Already.
All right. Well, here's the chief.
Yeah.
All right.
See y'all, boy.
All right, man. Love you.
So where you going today?
So we a little impromptu.
Yeah. It's always good to hear another voice.
Never know what's gonna happen at the Know Better Do Better podcast.
Man.
If you didn't know, that was our cousin Kevin, brother Kevin, aka Billy.
Yeah. Billy Harvey.
He works in the corporate field, so he would know more than us.
Yeah.
You know.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, master of many.
Speaking of that, the Me Too movement.
Mm-hmm.
The movement has really affected my television watching
How so?
because Master of None was a show that I watched.
Aziz.
What Aziz Ansari.
But you go
We
ahead.
talked about it before,
Yeah.
and how we thought that the issues that he was running into.
I felt like she was reaching.
She was, but either way, we're still 2018. We still don't have another season of Master of None.
I'll say this. It was pretty much proven through text message that she was reaching. Like, okay, maybe if you don't know the story, you know, he went out on a date, they had some rough sex, she tried to act like she wasn't with it, but the text that they went back and forth with showed that she was with it, and I think they might have went out again, if I'm not mistaken, after that episode of her quote-unquote Me Too movement. So, Me Too moment, rather. So, I think in that aspect she was reaching. But yeah, was Master of None good? I never got a chance to really look at it.
Master of None was good.
Okay. Cause
Nah.
I like Aziz. I like Aziz Ansari. Aziz. I always say his name wrong. Okay. Talking Me Too. Your boy is
Who?
back on the road.
Who?
Louis C.K.
Is he back on the road?
He's back on the road. He decided he's gonna go back on the road. Now I'll say this about Louis C.K. He's kind of like Me Too adjacent, because he didn't really like assault or harass anyone. He was just being a pervert. You know what I mean? Like he was just being nasty. Like
Well, he was just talking.
he would invite you into his office, male or female, and he would just be like jacking off. Like he'd be at the desk talking to you, and like, do you mind if I pull my thing out and rub one out? And him being a comic, you would be like, he's being funny. And he'd be like, oh man, you crazy. And he would like literally pull his junk out and rub one out while he's having a conversation with you about like this new TV show idea that he's gonna pitch to Netflix. So so people like they went in an uproar.
Yeah, that's not something that you just start overnight.
I just think he's a pervert. You know, I just think he's kind of like just a nasty dude. But you know, he's not like forcing himself on anybody like a Harvey Weinstein or allegedly like a Russell Simmons or anything like that. Yeah, I said Russell Simmons.
Uncle Russ.
Uncle Russ. He
He got caught up in the movie.
Yeah, and then he got cleared, but somebody else said something else. He moved to, where did he move to? Fiji? He moved somewhere.
Yeah,
he moved his house, sold his house. He's out of the country. So you know, when there's smoke, there's fire. Usually.
Oh.
You look that up, Mr. Fact Checker.
Oh.
But but Louis C.K. is back on the road. I think he feels like the dust is cleared. And
Nah.
I will say this, not to excuse any of the things that he's done. He's a very talented dude. Comedically, he's very funny. Creatively, some of the shows and the things he's written and had ideas for are very good. Some people are split down the middle. They're kind of like, you know, he didn't rape anybody. Let him be. He's just a creep. You know, he's just.
That's weird.
Some people are kind of like, he didn't rape anybody. He's just a nasty dude. You know,
But are they making excuses?
These are fans. These aren't like people in the industry. These are fans. Some people say they'll never spend $1 on anything he's involved in ever again. And some people are kind of like, he's not Harvey Weinstein or anybody, so
Yeah, but
he's not Kevin Spacey or anybody, so House of Cards.
That was my show, bro.
And they got the last season. He ain't in it.
Yeah,
They switched it all up. I don't even think it's gonna be good.
that's crazy, man.
I was just gonna start watching it, and then when they told me they switched the last season up because he's not in it, I was like, I don't even want to watch it now.
No, that was a great show.
I heard.
That was a great show.
So, I think guys have to tread lightly. Here's the thing. Here's a question. How do you recover, say, if you're a Louis C.K.? I mean, because like a Harvey Weinstein, there's no recovering from that. He's going to jail and all that stuff. He's going, but somebody like Louis C.K., somebody like Aziz, who's been accused. Aziz.
Why's Aziz?
I don't know, because his last name is Ansari, so I always say Aziz. Anyway, Aziz and Louis C.K., somebody that's been accused of some things not as heinous as Harvey Weinstein's case or Kevin Spacey's or anything like that. How do you recover and pick up the pieces?
It depends.
Because I kind of feel like
if you're a politician, there's no way you recover.
right.
It depends on your profession. You're a comedian, so therefore you can make a joke about anything.
Yeah, he can turn that into a bit.
If you are, bro,
But fans.
because remember,
He lost a lot of fans. We talk about Louis C.K. He lost a lot of fans, but I feel like as far as his career, he's doing the right thing. It's like the sooner you get started, the sooner you can kind of get some normalcy back, try to get your fan base back or get a new fan base, whatever. Like the more you hide, and it's a show business in general. It's like the more you hide, the more you're not seen. Out of sight, out of mind.
like Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, he's getting old, Brand. Chris Brown.
What do you mean?
He's that dude. He's still that dude.
But he recovered though.
Oh, he recovered. Yeah, he went right back to work. Yeah, I thought you meant out of sight, out of mind.
No.
Yeah, he went right back to work because the sooner you get right back at it, you got to be remorseful. You got to apologize. You have to mean it. But I feel like the sooner you get back to work, the sooner you can get back to. I ain't gonna say get back, but get some type of routine back to your life.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. Aziz still ain't. Aziz still hasn't come back.
Yeah. But the crazy thing, that was like the
I
only
like
the only
that
thing
guy.
he had going at the moment, which was a good thing, But somebody like Louis C.K., he had his own show. He was still on the road. He was writing for other shows and pitching other shows. You know what I mean? Like he had like Netflix specials, and then he had TV shows on FX and other stuff that he was pitching for NBC. And
No, I think that he's gonna have to work behind the scenes.
he did work behind the scenes.
I'm talking about he's gonna continue to work behind the scenes and not put his name on it.
I just don't think nobody's gonna hire him.
Get out of here.
I don't think nobody's gonna hire him to write. All right, it's the chief. He's walking on out. I guess he got a gym bag.
Yeah. No, I think they're not gonna hire him. I think they are.
I
think they're just gonna bring him on as a consultant,
I don't think they're gonna do that.
bro.
I don't
When it
think.
comes, money trumps everything else.
Yeah, but it depends on who's paying. And
There's no way, bro.
Man,
There's no way.
them
FX don't care, bro.
They care.
Netflix cares because Netflix is like, oh, but
FX cares.
FX is not able.
They snatch this shit off. They ain't even wait for nothing to come out. They snatch this shit smooth off. And it was like it was one of the top shows on
What,
Netflix.
Louis?
Yeah.
It's not. It has his name on it.
Yeah, but
If he's gonna be able to write for other shows that don't have his name on
I
it,
don't think he's gonna.
because people not gonna know. They're gonna see the brilliance of the show.
No, the fans are going to see the brilliance of the show. I'm talking about the funding, the people that are behind the scenes with them. There's going to be somebody with the check and be like, "Who's writing? Oh, Louis C. Oh, nah, fuck that." That's what they're going to say. Nah, not on my dime.
People don't care.
That's why I feel like he's going on the road because that's the only way he can control his money is being a stand-up and just doing what he do. Like when you write for other people, there's too many hands in the cookie jar that's contingent on whether this floats or sinks. But agree to disagree. But anyway, if you have any questions regarding Me Too, if you've been in a Me Too situation in the workplace or anything like that, male or female, let us know, because we definitely would like to kind of circle the wagons and come back and share
and talk more to it.
Talk more about it. Get into it. So if you had any incidents where you had a Me Too movement, you can email us at nobetterdoBetterMail@gmail. If you want to be anonymous, just let us know, and we could tell your story without dropping any names, because Brandon's the known name dropper. But we'll keep your name out of it, and we'll just tell the story and give input. You can find us at No Better Do Better Podcast. That's both on Facebook and Instagram. Twitter, you can find us at No Podcast Crew. And you can listen to us directly on Podbean. You can search No Better Do Better, or you can go to the direct link, which is nobetterdobetter.podbean.com. So that's it for the Me Too. As far as men making adjustments, people trying to find agendas hidden within serious movements and serious advocacy for just the betterment of one another. So it's a lot that goes on with those things. But like I said, any feedback, just let us know. Any other parting words?
No, thank y'all for listening. Hope to give you a dope pod next week.
All right, man. We'll holla at you. Peace.